Hello and welcome into Louisville Now. I'm John Ramsey, your host, and what we do here is we pull back the curtain, give you an inside look at city government and the way it works, some of its divisions and programs. You may have heard a lot in the news lately about the Louisville Metro Housing Authority. What's it all about? What do they do? Well, I'm lucky enough to have an expert there. I have Faith Hood with me now, you are the Director of Special Programs.
That's correct.
All right, Faith, welcome in.
Thank you.
So before we get into your special programs and what you do, if you would, a little bit of an overview. I think a lot of people wonder, what is the Louisville Metro Housing Authority? So help me out.
So the Louisville Metro Housing Authority, we currently manage about 10 public housing sites across the city. We serve currently around 3,000 public housing residents, and around 11,000 of the residents of Louisville receive either a housing choice voucher or a project-based voucher. So we are a pretty busy
I would say.
agency. Yeah, we're all over the city.
So you mentioned some of the facilities you talked about. Did you say 11? How many different facilities?
So we manage about 10 facilities. Yes.
Okay, 10 facilities. So how do these differ? What kind of variety of facilities do you have, Faith?
That's a good question. I was just saying, one that we don't commonly get asked. So we manage multifamily facilities. We have several senior and disabled facilities as well. And then we have tax credit facilities. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the housing choice and project-based vouchers too.
Could you help me a little bit about how someone, a family or an elderly person you mentioned or someone disabled, how do they qualify to be able to be in one of your facilities?
So to be a part of the public housing, to be a part of the public housing sites, they do have to apply. Right now, we currently, there is a waiting list. That waiting list is closed because of our DOSCR relocation efforts at this time. But they would have to submit an application to be eligible for public housing and our housing choice vouchers as well. And from there, if qualified, they would receive a rental subsidy, which is around 30%. To qualify and be housed. So.
Okay. Faith, and this is a big undertaking, DOSCR Manor.
Yes.
So at first I said, wow, this is a little overwhelming, but I think the news is positive. I think Mayor Greenberg, yourself, this has some forward momentum. Tell me where we are with DOSCR Manor.
Oh, it has been a big undertaking, but I would say, I think I could speak for our whole agency. Our efforts have been intense. We've hit the ground running. There were originally about 578 residents that were there on site living at DOSCR. We are well under 100 residents that are remaining, several who already have a relocation plan in place. Through this process, we've been able to provide supportive services. So we have case management on site. We also have brought in housing navigators to help in the relocation process. And these navigators will walk alongside our residents in helping them choose between, they can choose up to 3 options, whether that's within our public housing portfolio or choosing a housing choice or project-based voucher. And so they have somebody that's walking alongside them through this whole process to ensure that this process goes smoothly for them, but the ultimate goal is housing stability. We've also been able to partner with Happy Homes. It's a furniture bank located in Jeffersonville, Indiana. I think one of the biggest concerns for our residents, they have the option to leave furniture. Pest infestations, environmental issues that may have happened while living at DOSCR. They have the option to receive furniture, gently used furniture, and it provides for the entire home. And so that's been a great partnership as we've relocated the residents. They also are able to make this new place a home through Happy Homes. So,
if there's a consistent theme in these shows in Metro government, there's a lot of partnerships.
So
you mentioned services and that partnership. So tell me more about some of the services, if you would.
So that's where our department comes into play. Like you said, I'm the Director of Special Programs, and so any community or supportive services come through our department. And so we've been privileged to partner, for instance, with the Office of Violence Prevention through our DOSCR Manor relocation efforts. They've come on board, and we've developed a program called the Supportive Housing Project. Through that project, we've been able to provide comprehensive strength-based case management. As for any of us, moving is a huge change and it takes a lot of adjustment. But we also recognize there's some other areas and issues that our residents are facing on a day-to-day basis. And so we wanted to ensure that we're addressing those up front, but also able to follow back behind those residents once they've relocated to provide supportive services, ensuring that we're helping to connect them to resources here in the city. Louisville has a lot of organizations, and it can be confusing at times on who's the best point of contact. And through our department, we're able to connect them to these resources as we identify specific needs or barriers that the individual might face.
I appreciate all this knowledge that you're sharing with me. Before we let you go, Faith, are there any things with the Louisville Metro Housing Authority that you'd like to discuss? Any highlights? I love the good news, so lay it on me.
Yes, I was going to say, listen, this is an area where I'm extremely passionate, especially around supportive services and social work. And so to highlight some of our programs, but also some of our projects that we have coming on board as well. Some of our main programs, a lot of people aren't aware that Louisville Housing Authority has supportive services in-house. And so we have our Family Self-Sufficiency Program and our Thrive Program, along with our homeownership, who've served a lot of our residents on both sides of the fence, whether in public housing or on the Section 8 side. And so I definitely want to highlight that piece and plug in. But we do have some projects coming on board. We're in the middle of our planning process for Parkway Place. We want to ultimately redevelop that site. And so we're planning, going through the planning partner process and talking with partners throughout the city to determine how best to approach that site. That's our last remaining family site.
You have so much going on, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. You're busy. You're a busy lady.
Thank you so much. Time.
Director of Special Programs, Louisville Metro Housing Authority. She is Faith Hood. Coming up here on Louisville Now, what's happening in District 13? Councilman Dan Syme will join us. Coming up next on Louisville Now.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Metro TV shows your government in action. Metro TV is the only place you will see every minute of Metro Council meetings live. Be informed, be prepared, be a part of our community. Stay connected with Louisville Metro TV on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, YouTube, and Spectrum Cable Channel 184. Metro TV. Engage, empower, entertain.
My daughter is Alexandria Nicole Daggett. She was a Beta Club member. She loved volleyball. She was murdered on March 14, 2020 at the ripe age of 20. They use TikTok and social media so much, and you don't know who your friend really is that's on that other end and what lifestyle they're living, and you can become a victim of it.
Copper wire theft is robbing us of our safety. Thieves are targeting our essential infrastructure, darkening roadways, disrupting emergency services, shutting down internet networks, and causing over $1 million in damages just last year. Copper wire theft is illegal. Mayor Craig Greenberg's Copper Wire Theft Task Force is getting results, but your help is needed. If you see something suspicious, call Crime Stoppers at 502-582-CLUE. You could get a $5,000 reward. Welcome back to Louisville Now. In my last segment, I talked about how I love positive news, and I know you do as well. So we're going to get some positive news about District 13. And with us now is Councilman Dan Syme Jr. Councilman, we had a brief conversation before we went on the air together. You've got a lot of positive things going on. First of all, Fairdale area, right? Tell us about what District 13 is exactly.
Well, District 13 is South Louisville, and the heart of District 13 is Fairdale. But we also cover up to Okolona. This is part of my district here in Jefferson Mall area. We go all the way to Blevins Gap, Scottsdale, Yorktown, a lot of the south end, but the heart is Fairdale.
Okay, these positive things that are happening. Before we do that, you are very active. I see you everywhere, and I think that's what people want in a councilman. So tell me a little bit about you. What convinced you, hey, I want to get more involved. I want to help the city.
Well, I was semi-retired. I was kind of going about my life, and a fella come and we started talking about politics and the need for change in Louisville. And we started talking about some of the issues with our homeless population and just a lot of things in the South End that's been neglected for many years. And we talked, and I talked to some folks in the family and decided it's my turn to get up here and try to help.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, John.
To offer your services and your expertise and your passion for that area of town for District 13. Okay, positive things. Okay, I don't know where you start, but have at it, my man.
Well, the first thing that we did when we took office, me and my legislative assistant, Lisa Ammon, is we designated September for Law Enforcement Appreciation Month. This is the third year for it, and September is the month, and we've been working with the Police Foundation, Rebecca Grignon, and what we try to do every day of the month of September is honor our law enforcement, and we had a great ceremony in Chambers. We was able to honor an exemplary officer out of each district, each precinct. So that was the first thing we did. And then the second thing we did is I love music. And I have followed our local band, My Morning Jacket, for a long time.
That's a good one. You and a lot of folks.
Oh, yeah. And we paid to get the banner, My Morning Jackets Louisville, at the fair. And that was one of the first things we did. It took us a couple years to get that done, but we got that done. And it's beautiful. We're proud of the band, worldwide audience. So anyway, on top of that, that was the first thing. Another thing is I went to our park, Nelson Hornbeck Park in Fairdale, and our kids were sitting on splinters. And it kind of angered me because I was a youth football coach. I believe in youth advancement, and we immediately went in and spent probably about $250,000 in Nelson Hornbeck Park to get things going, and ultimately we'll have put close to $600,000-$700,000 in the park, pickleball courts, revamping everything, and people are seeing it, and they're really starting to bubble. And I'm there because it has been neglected for a while.
I love hearing that because the mayor talks often about quality of place and quality of life that means so much to all of us. So tell me about some more. Obviously, you're busy. Current projects that you're working on, or maybe a vision that you see.
What we're doing right now is Fairdale. We're the gateway to the Jefferson Memorial Forest, and the Jefferson Memorial Forest is 7,000 acres, and it's the largest urban forest in America. And no one knows it. So we've got with the mayor and his wife Rachel's been out. I've had Rand Paul's office out there, Morgan McGarvey, had him out there, Mitch McConnell.
I've been out there hiking.
We're trying to get focused.
Great.
We've put several $1 million into Tom Wallace Park. We've made it accessible where we can, if you can get a wheelchair and go fishing. We have a platform for them to fish off of. We've been granted some property to put a memorial where they can, the veterans, which is what the park is named after. So we're going to be doing a giant memorial, but we're putting several millions. We're looking to put $30 to $60 million into the forest. Whoa. And do some regional advertisement. We want people to come from Virginia and Tennessee to hike in our trails at the forest and see some of the amenities we'll have, treetop camping, and the mayor is totally on board, and it's going to bring a lot of economic development all the way around Valley Station, Fairdale, Brooks, Bullitt County. So it's just a big project. It's a big one we're doing, but we're happy to do it. And then as the gateway, we've got archways and Gallapalooza horses and murals and we're putting hundreds of $1,000s in, and the pride is starting to bubble. It's bubbling.
Councilman Syme, I can tell when I'm talking to you and I'm listening to all of these amenities and additions that you're adding to your district, you're very family focused, which I love. I can tell that's big to you. Before I let you go, I have to ask you though, Okay, I've had brief conversations, but you seem like you know him. Jim James. He's a cool cat.
Love Jim James. Love Jim James. Patrick Hallahan, Tommy. They're great people. They have a great heart.
Oh, their music. Ooh.
And their music is phenomenal. I can listen to it over and over. They're just phenomenal. And they're ours.
There you go.
They're ours.
And you're ours too.
Their gigantic banner. If you'll see it on 65 at the fairgrounds, look at it. My Morning Jackets, Louisville. We love Jim and company and all those that he works with. He works with all the local talent when he comes to town and brings the concert, which is phenomenal. But one of the biggest things that I think we're doing now is working with seniors. We've developed a senior program in Fairdale that has brought life to these folks that you just wouldn't believe.
All right.
You wouldn't believe.
Well, you've got a lot of positives going on.
A lot of good things.
Councilman Syme, thank you for your time. I've enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. We'll have to sit and listen to some music coming up.
Yeah, well, I'll see you at your next concert, I'm sure.
There we go. I hope so.
Bourbon and beyond.
All right. Good news from District 13, courtesy of Councilman Dan Syme. Okay, coming up here, you may not know it, but October is Fire Safety Month. We're going to talk about you, your family, workplace being more safe. That's what priority number one here on Louisville Now. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Roseanne Maston with Louisville Tourism. Here are a few things happening around Louisville this week. Nearly a century after its creation, Louisville Hot Brown Week celebrates the city's signature dish for a full week, October 20th through 26th. Though the iconic open-faced sandwich was created at the Brown Hotel, restaurants across the city create their own versions from pizza to tacos. Track your Hot Brown Week journey on the app and check into restaurants to earn points and prizes. Sluggerfield will welcome a different kind of bat at the Kentucky Bat Festival, a fundraising event held by Second Chances Wildlife Center. This nonprofit conserves wildlife through rehabilitation and education. You'll get to meet different bat species, snap a photo with Buddy Bat, shop from a vendor fair, and enjoy live music and local beer on October 24th. Named one of the 10 best Halloween parades in the country by USA Today, this annual event will be taking over the New Lou District in downtown Louisville on October 25th. With local artists, live music, theatrical performances, costume contests, vendors, and of course, the city's only Halloween parade. Treat the fam to a cruise along the Ohio River on the Mary M. Miller Riverboat, featuring Halloween-themed crafts, a trick-or-treat train, and a dance party. Costumes are welcomed for the Halloween Kids Cruise on October 26th. Find out more details about these events and others at gotolouisville.com. Just click on the calendar of events.
Welcome back to Louisville Now. I mentioned that October, the month of October, Fire Prevention Month. And when it comes to interviews, this guy is smoking hot. I mean, he is on fire. Okay, I've got to quit with this. It's Captain Donovan Sims who rejoins us. We've had a number of conversations, but welcome back to the show.
Always good to do a show with you. Thank you.
I love talking to you because, hey, you know, the mayor mentions it a lot, and I don't say this casually. Safety is his number one priority. You're, of course, in charge of the safety, being a captain with the Louisville Fire Department.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about, I know this may seem to you like, okay, this is elementary, but there are some basics that everyone should know at their home or at work. Tell me a little bit about your knowledge.
And
give it to
like
me.
you said, basic, and can be redundant, but it's so crucial that we follow just common safety when it comes to fire safety, especially as we get into the colder months. As we've already seen, just here in Louisville the last week, weather's it's dropped. People are starting to turn on those furnaces for the first time this year. And, we're getting calls for like, oh, I'm smelling smoke. I'm smelling something burning. You want to make sure you take those steps of making sure your filters are changed out, making sure your furnaces doesn't have any debris sitting at the bottom, making sure you're checking your smoke alarms, right? As we go into this winter season, check those smoke alarms. Make sure you're calling 311 if you're within Jefferson County city limits. You get your smoke detector put in by the fire department. That 10-year lithium battery, so you don't have to worry about changing those batteries and things like that throughout the year. Smoke, what do we call it? Space heaters?
Yes.
As we're getting into all this stuff, make sure we're using those safely, keeping that 3-foot safe area around that. We're not letting clothes and work stuff coming home from work and throwing your bags down right next to the space heater. We want to make sure we're leaving a safe space around that as you're trying to stay warm.
Yes, I tend to be one of those folks who and I'm guilty, so I learned through you. But I go, okay, my smoke alarms are working. I'm good. My filter's changed. I'm good.
Yeah.
But especially for folks who may have a fireplace,
Right.
there's much more to think about. Kids in the house.
Yeah.
So because of course they're not very safety conscious yet. But so tell me about maybe some tips for kids.
You know, I have 2 young kids myself, a 4 and a 1-year-old, and they're very active, moving around. Like I haven't even started my fireplace this year, even though I kind of want to because it's nice to have it on when you're just sitting there. But you got to be vigilant. You got to watch your kids. Keep their toys away from those areas where you're going to have a heat source, right? Because they're going to be attracted to. And they don't know that's harmful until they get there, and you want to make sure that we're keeping them away from it. So that same 3-foot space, that 3-foot radius that we kind of recommend of keeping that area safe. If you're using, as you said, a fireplace, or you like to have a nice fall candle lit and things like that, like leave those areas away from your children. Like don't leave them unattended. Like, oh, I turned it on and I went over here to start cooking. Just like you wouldn't leave your food alone, don't leave your other heating sources alone as well.
I hear, is that true that number one place in the home, kitchen, is that
Kitchen.
that's where
Kitchen.
the heat? It makes
Kitchen.
sense.
Kitchen.
It makes sense. So let's say you have your house down pat, but you come into your work environment. What should people look for and maybe make superiors aware of? Their managers, and say, hey, we need to pay attention to this.
In your workspace, you do have a lot of that. Like some people like their offices cold, some like they're warm. Like they have those space heaters in their office, but they're using those power strips, right? Because you have your monitors, your TVs, you're charging your phone. You probably got your coffee mug that stays on a warmer, so it stays warm through the day. Like, and we're just plugging all those things in, and we're using these surge protectors and power things. Like those heavy loads, like if you do have a space heater in your office, like make sure that's on its own. Like don't overload these circuits and things like that. Don't tuck them behind desks so you can't reach them, or get to them. Just being smart, right? Like making sure that coffee pot's turned off after you get a couple cups of coffee in the morning. Just looking at things again, knowing your exits in your building, how to get out of your workspace, like where are your stairs.
Sure.
If a fire's on one corner, how do I get out the other way? And again, code. Your building should be up to code, but look for things that are kind of like that looks a little suspicious.
Residents of this area who are watching Louisville Now, we appreciate what you do, and we know the danger involved. So I'm curious. So the mayor talks a lot about recruiting new police officers, new fire department.
Correct.
How's it going? How's recruiting going?
Recruiting's going great. We had really exceptional numbers for our last recruiting process. Well over 1,000 applicants. We are working on making sure we get a lot of those applicants to the next step. We saw a big drop off when they started coming in and testing. We had over 1,000, but only 500 showed up for a written test, and then so many. So we're working on ways to do that. We have hopefully some big news coming in our recruiting area and recruiting offices in the next month or so. We love getting out there. I'm actually leaving here and going to U of L and doing an athletic recruiting panel there. So
all right.
A career fair panel there. So we're always out there. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call 574-3701 and ask to speak to a recruiter.
Captain Sims, you're a great ambassador. I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you so much.
All right, once again, Fire Prevention Month. Hey, listen to the man. He's wanting to keep you and your family safe. Coming up here, okay, we're going to meet a president, okay? I've got your attention. Coming up next on Louisville Now.
His name is Raymel Atkins. He was joyful, funny, so funny. And he's the one that gave me the most affection all the time at all my girls. He loved the game. System Xbox was what he played all the time. And once TikTok and stuff started coming out, he did a lot of TikToks over in Algonquin Park. I miss him. He was 15 years old when he was killed on our front doorstep. Nobody wants to feel this kind of hurt that just sits. Every time it's time for Christmas, I'm only shopping for 3. School, 3. When it's supposed to be 4. It's supposed to be 4 of everything. Ramaya's mad. Ramontra's distant. It's just a lot to have to carry. So know where your kids are. Ask questions. Any change you see, address it. That's what I'm learning now. I don't care if they eating different, coming home different, just on the phone different. Pay attention to every single detail about your children, your teenagers right now, because it was a blink of an eye for me. When they come in from school, you got to ask them every day, how was your day? I've learned doing that now with my daughters. We have a better communication, and either good or bad, you could tell, somebody, it was all right. They might say, And then you got to say, well, what happened? You can't just let them go in and shut the door. And you got to spend more time with these teenagers, one-on-one time, group time. Once a month now we do something together, and we just sit down and we talk. That's what's working for us.
Welcome back to Louisville Now. Okay, I had a little tease there. I said you're going to meet a president, and you're going to do just that. She is a resident council president for Noltemeyer Wynde, and we'll tell you what that's all about and what that entails. First of all, Sandra, welcome in.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming in to talk to us.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
so tell me exactly, what is a resident council president?
Well, the resident council president, we represent the residents in that whole complex. And what we do is we try to make life easy for them. We try to do fun things. We do bingo. We do like Halloween party for the kids. We try to do something for each holiday. And we have a laundry room on site. And the laundry room, the money from the laundry room goes to the resident council. And that we use that money to be able to do like fun things, like buy little gifts for the bingo prizes. And then like Halloween, we have things for the kids. And then we try to have a Thanksgiving Day dinner and a Christmas dinner. So,
All right.
So the residents can have some enjoyment, some fun.
So Sandra, it sounds like your job is enhancing their life, making sure they
Yeah.
have the services they need, but also let's have some fun, as you said.
Yeah.
So this is, I would think this is very rewarding work because you're
Right.
making people happy. They probably love you in that building.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah. We try to do as much fun stuff as we can. And then the office is open. If like somebody's looking for a job, we have the computer set up out in the community room where they can come and get on the internet and look for jobs.
Okay.
Anything like that they want to do.
So not only are you having some fun and making sure the holidays and everyone enjoys themselves, which everyone wants, but also when people are in need, we mentioned services, if they're looking for a job, all of that. So what you do entails a bunch.
Right. And then if it's a day that we're not in the office, like we're not in here every day, but if somebody has a need that they want, they can call one of us three, and one of us will come over here and open up, and they can come in and get on the computer and get what they need to get.
So as resident council president, how long have you been in that position?
I've been on here for about 25 years.
Ooh, so obviously you're good at it.
I try. I try my best.
And popular in the building, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious. Everyone's excited about the upcoming holidays. So I'm just curious. Okay, let's take one up. Christmas. So what kind of things do you do for Christmas?
We put the Christmas tree up over here and decorate over here. And then we have a Christmas dinner.
Nice, nice. And residents, you probably have developed a lot of friendships.
Yeah,
I love hearing that.
yeah.
Close friends.
I try to make it as easy as I can on them.
I understand. I think to me, that would be one of the hard things about your job is you have so many residents and you want to keep them all happy.
Yeah.
That has to be stressful.
Yeah. Well, but it goes good. It goes really good because most of the residents are really cooperative. Got a few that's not, but you always
That's always the case.
You always got a few that's not doing something
Well,
right.
on behalf of your residents and me, because I want the quality of life and, of course, our audience to be great here in Louisville, thank you for what you do.
You're welcome.
Sandra Epps, thank you very much. I enjoyed
You
the
are
conversation.
most welcome.
Hopefully you enjoyed the entire show today. We talked a lot about the Metro Housing Authority, talked a little bit about District 13 with Councilman Dan Simon. I enjoyed my conversation, of course, with Captain Sims and Sandra. So we hope you enjoyed yourself. Tell your friends about it. Okay, once again, it's Louisville Now. We've been live and we've enjoyed having you. We'll see you next time.